Hello everyone and thank you for joining me. Today I will be drawing with a fairly interesting fountain pen and kind of a special in its own way. This is the Indigraph fountain pen. Now for the most part it is a regular fountain pen, it can be used with normal ink. However, one thing that you can do with this fountain pen that you can't do with a regular fountain pen is that you can use India ink, which is one of my favorite inks. So having this in a fountain pen will be quite cool, I would say. I did had the fountain pen for a while, but to be honest with you, I kind of forgot about it for a while. Then I wanted to use it, but I was kind of afraid to use it because again, India ink can be quite the pain to use in the fountain pen. And today, I finally have the courage to try it out. Outside the fountain pen, it's fairly simple, very clean, something that I really like in it. The clip is actually on the barrel, so it will have to be nipped down when you store it, for a reason that you'll see soon. The cap is fairly simple. There's a window at the end, and again, that has a reason as well, in case you don't know already. And twist to open the cap. That will reveal a fairly simple section with a number 5 Yovo nib. I have an extra fine nib for my choice. And you can remove the section by twisting and well, not remove the section, but rather than barrel, and that will reveal a simple Schmidt normal size converter. And that's about it. I mean, for at least the normal side of the fountain pen. The clip can be removed, this cap can be opened or finial, and you can remove the clip and then you could just put the finial. The clip doesn't bother me, has a pretty good roll as a roll stopper, and I don't mind keeping it there for now. Now the magic happens in the cap. The finial can be opened, and that will reveal, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to capture it since it is black on black, a hole that basically is kind of through and through. This you put under the tap water and you fill it up with water. And that will store water in there. And on the other side, hopefully you can see it, there is a very thin membrane that allows water to not really pass through, but more like keep the inside of the cap moist. And that's the secret when it comes to using India ink. You have to keep the nib and the feed wet or moist or submerged in the India ink. And the whole thing has to be airtight. That's why this one has an O-ring at the end there. And at the end here, so this way we'll make it airtight. That was the whole secret with the safety pins as well. That's why the nib had to retract inside of the body, because it was being submerged inside the India ink to keep it moist or wet, if moist word bothers you for whatever reasons. That's it, nothing really special. The special part is in the cap, in the membrane that we have in there, and that's it. So the thing is that you always need to remember, that's why you have the window, I guess, is to make sure you always have water in here. If you don't want the India ink to basically dry on your nib and pretty much ruin your day. With that aside, I will try and fill it up. I'll try and do it live, not speed it up. So first of all, we need some water. Fortunately, I have some water in here. Now, since I can't really film this under the tap, I'll have to do it this way. That should be enough. I hope you can see the water inside there. Maybe. It's already steaming up a little bit. Oh, I think you can see it now. So, that's for the water. Now, let's fill it up with ink. The fountain pen, when I got it, it came with its own Indigraph ink. India ink. Never used it. However, because this is so tiny, there's no way the fountain pen is going to actually fit in there. So I'm going to have to use the pipette again. So first of all, just in case, even though this is kind of like that. And I have another pipette that I'll use. And we're going to do it the hard way. Oh, actually I need a syringe. Because this is not going to fit in there, is it? I'll be right back. And I am back. So I have this. I'll be using this. And I'll try, this should be interesting, to actually drip inside the bottle slowly. 2, 3, 4. Okay, that should. Let's not make a mess. Now, if you have a bigger bottle, you don't have to do this. And before I put it back, let's not make a mess. Put the cap first. This ring, it's actually customizable. I have it on black. I believe you can buy different rings with different colors if you want to. However, that makes it very easy to knock it off. And it's almost already drying off. So I'm gonna put the cap back on. And this is it. I will try and do a writing sample and then we'll dive into a drawing. Quickly going through the writing sample, not a lot of issues. One thing that I noticed is that if you hang on for too long, the ink, at least this ink that I'm using right now from them, starts drying up pretty quickly. So when not in use, even for a couple of seconds, like 10-15 seconds, I would recommend to make sure you place the cap back over the nib. Other than that, for the writing sample, I just noticed that on reverse, it didn't want it to write. However, during the drawing, it was working okay. I guess it was just a matter of the ink starting to flow properly. The other pleasant part that I found with the fountain pen is that the nib has a little bit of flex on it, which is quite surprising. And you can get a little bit of character in your writing if you really want to. Now, obviously, as I mentioned a lot of times, I'm not that good at calligraphy, so I wasn't able to give you a perfect example. but from the flourishing that I was trying to do, you could probably figure out how well it works. One thing that I decided to do after I've done the writing sample is to top off the water inside that water reservoir on the cap, and then let it sit nib down for about 24 hours or so, or more than 24 hours actually, just to see if I have any issues with starting up. And I have this kind of a pen holder. It is kind of an O-ring, I guess, or shaped ring, or ring shaped, whatever you want to call it. That seems to be ceramic or something like that. And it was perfect fit for this pen to hold it. That type of pen holder won't be able to hold large pens or heavy pens, but for this light aluminum pen, it worked out okay. Now the surprising part is that after 24 hours, when I tried to use it, even for just normal writing test, it didn't want to start. So it did had a hard start. I'm not sure how well that water reservoir works with this pen. So yeah, it was a little bit of an uphill battle during the drawing to actually get lines on the page. I had to push a little bit of ink through the converter into the feed and nib in order to overflow the nib and feed. But after that, everything worked out okay until I stopped again. And once I stopped for like, let's say, I did a 5 to 10 minutes break sometime during the middle of the drawing, and I started to get to it. I had nothing but issues. It was very hard to start. And as you'll probably see me during the drawing here and there, I had this sticky note, blue sticky note next to me where I was trying to force the nib to start writing, so this way I don't ruin the drawing too much. I did manage to unfortunately ruin some parts of the drawing, but then I kind of worked out to blend them in and make them part of the drawing. But that forced me to actually shift a little bit from the idea that I was having in head, and it kind of ruined some of the parts of the drawing and forced me to do some things that I might have not wanted to do. Now, to be fair, it could also be the paper, because this is the cold hand-pressed cotton paper that I've been using for a while, and I think I'm gonna continue using it until the end of the year, since there's not much left out of it. And next year I'm gonna try something else, maybe. The problem with this paper, as I've mentioned a lot of times, it tends to clog the nib because the pressing is not that well pressed, and I don't think they're using any glue or anything like that to keep fibers together, if you can even do that. And as I scribble with the nib, or I drag the nib on top of the page, some fibers do come loose, and after multiple passes it tends to actually clog the nib. And you'll see me here and there quickly. Actually, I was flossing the nib to try and unclog it, and at the same time, this specific piece of paper that I have in front of me turned out to be even more troublesome here and there on the page, and that kind of changed the tone and details of the drawing. Here and there was actual fluff on top of the page. I don't know how to describe it. And when the nib was going through it, it was just creating this kind of a misty paper on top of the page, and or fluff, and I had to scribble it or drag it or somehow pick it off in there, and a lot of times was actually adding to the fact that the nib was drying fairly quickly if I wasn't using it, or the flow wasn't good enough through the nib and feed in order to maintain the wetness. Basically, bottom line, I kind of fought all the way through with this drawing. A pretty simple drawing. I think it would have taken me quite a little bit of time to do it. I don't think it would have taken more than an hour. But because of the added complexities that I had with the paper and the pen and the ink, unfortunately, this took me like 2 hours and a half or something like that, with some breaks in between. I wanted to use this, again, cotton paper because I thought that India ink might look actually pretty cool on this cotton paper, and it does, to its credit. I do like India ink on this paper. Probably will look even better on the tone paper, which, because of the tone aspect of it, doesn't have the same issues with the fluff on top of the page. So I might give it a chance again on a different type of paper. So I will be reusing this pen sometime in the future just to see if I will have the same issues. What I did notice is that if you don't maintain a flow or a line, a specific line on the page, so this way the flow keeps on going through the nib and feed, flowing of the ink, the ink on the nib starts to dry off, which is normal. That's what India ink does. And because of my light-handed style of drawing, I'm not sure how well it will suit me. Again, this could have been basically more problematic because of the paper, so I don't want to give a final feeling on this pen yet until I try it on a different piece of paper. It has potential, definitely, but I don't know how well that water cap works. Or better said, I don't know how good that membrane is in there for allowing water to basically go through that membrane and keep the inside of the cap moist enough to keep the ink from drying off. The other thing that I found slightly annoying on the pen is the actual threads where the cap closes over the section. They are a little bit sharp. As I was drawing with the pen, I noticed that for prolonged periods of time, as I hold the pen to do the drawings, my my middle finger that sits under the pen sees right on the threads, and because those threads are sharp, they were painful a little bit, especially when I was working on details and I was holding it a little bit lower. When I was holding it a little bit upper on the barrel, it wasn't that much of an issue, but oddly enough, probably because the pen is so light, my thumb was starting to hurt. So again, this is more of a personal thing. I don't know if everybody will have the same issue, especially if you have the same drawing style and hand position as I have. But these are the issues that I found with the pen, which was interesting. I still like it. I definitely do like it, and I see the potential in it. And like I said, I will try it again on a different piece of paper just to see if some of the issues that I had will not still be there. Bottom line, I like the pen. I do like it. It's just I don't want to have a final thought on it because I'm not 100% sure. I need to spend more time with it and try it in different environments. As for the drawing, I was forced to take some choices in here that were out of my hand. I usually don't put a lot of thought, and I like to let my hand and mind wander, but this time the pen forced me to do things that I might have not wanted to do and take some shortcuts here and there. But in the end, I think it still turned out okay. You'll see me using something in there that it's a little bit of an intro for things to come. I've been doing some drawings with this style and these type of colors, and I'm a big fan of this. So you'll see more experimenting from me with this kind of ideas in the future. The other thing that I did After I clean the the pipette and the syringe from the India ink in that small cup of water that I used the water from the cup to fill up a water brush to use it just to add fine details and or to darken very slightly some areas on the drawing. And I think I'm gonna use it in other types of drawings, just when I want to darken a few things. It had a very light gray color, which I like. I don't know if you can layer it, but it's something to experiment in the future. In the end, this Indigraph fountain pen, I do like it. Not 100% sure how good it is or how well it performs with India ink, but I will be experimenting more with it and I will report back in a future video and I'll let you know my final thoughts then. For now, like it, but not 100% sure about it. Anyway, I'll stop my ramblings here. Thank you for joining me today. Hopefully you got something useful out of this video, and I'll see you next time. Have a wonderful day or night, wherever you are. Take care. Bye.